And good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome, welcome, welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. And I am Shanrae. Let me change my little ticker here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Counsel of the Day with Shanrae. I am Shanrae, and this is week 2 of our monthly counsel, which is loyalty. Loyalty, a good or bad thing. And our subtopic for this week is loyalty to the family. So, I am a Christian counselor, and this is an open forum. So, I do welcome your comments. I welcome questions, and I will stop. I will take a break, and I will acknowledge you and acknowledge that whatever questions or anything that you want to speak about on tonight. This is a 30-minute platform, so it goes by very, very quickly. And so, let me go. I'm going to share this screen so we can move it along. But I'm so glad this is week 2, and like I said, we are moving quickly. We are going by so quickly with this week, I tell you. Alrighty then. So I am Shanrae, and let's move this along a little bit. Here we go. I'm working different monitors, so you're going to see me looking up, looking down. You're going to see me looking a lot of different ways, but we're moving this along. I am a degreed psychologist. I acquired my degrees from Ashford University, as you can see here. And just this is my way of giving back. I do it 3 or 4 times a year. 4 times a year, and I do it on a quarterly basis. So this is the month of May, and then the next time we'll do Counsel Today will be in August, and it will go from there. So it's every 3 months, every 3 months of every year. So without further ado, let me go on and get started. As a Christian counselor, let me do my website, and then we're going to move on to our scripture and then on to the topic. Okay, so here we go. And it's pulling up. And I might as well read it since it's pulling up. Please be aware that due to the nature of the technology that I am using, there can be no assurance of confidentiality when using this online service. It should also be noted that due to changes in policies, all replies are to be used as advisory and informational only and will not constitute an official determination. Information provided by myself, other counselors, religious leaders, or people with life experience are subject to the limitations of current and available material, but the final responsibility for successfully achieving a goal rests with you, the individual. Information online is designed to be helpful. However, this information does change frequently, and it is recommended that clients or individuals as yourself will consult another physician, another specialist, and or religious leader to aid in your overall behavioral wellness. All right. And so as a Christian counselor, I do choose a verse for the month. And this month it's Proverbs 3:21, chapter 3, verses 21 in the NIV version, which is the new international version. And it says, "My son, do not let wisdom and understanding out of your sight. Preserve sound judgment and discretion." And I want to read another version from the New Living Translation. And it says, "My child, don't lose sight of common sense and discernment. Hang on to them." Now, I always like to give you a definition of what we're talking about. And so, excuse me, I'm going to go on and share a little bit again. So for this month, loyalty. The definition that I chose is always from a behavioral standpoint, dealing with people and disciplines. So loyalty, a strong feeling of support or allegiance. And then I have family, which is broken down. I chose 2 different definitions. Family. So number 1, it says a group of 1 or more parents and their children living together as a unit. And number 2, all the descendants of a common ancestor is what we have for the definition of family. So we're going to move this along because, again, we have 30 minutes, and this 30 minutes is going to come and go very, 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 very quickly. All right, so tonight's key points I'm going to be talking about and hitting on, it says, number 1, family loyalty. Number 2, 5 ways to improve family loyalty. Number 3, the loyal sentinels. Number 4, loyalty versus blind loyalty in families. And number 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5 is the takeaway. So the questions for tonight that I'm going to go over, and let me illuminate this just a little bit more, because as a teacher, I like for you all to see. I like for you all to see what I'm really doing, or get a better view. There we go. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right, so these are the questions that I am going to be highlighting and talking about on this evening. I have 2 different mice, so if you see things moving around, that's why I have the 2 different mice. Number 1, why is the family so important? And we know that it doesn't matter what culture you come from. It doesn't matter what part of the country you come from. It doesn't matter, what nationality you are. Everyone all over the world has family. Whether you're estranged or you are with them, we all have family. So why is the family so important? The definition here says that family is the single most important influence in a child's life. From their first moments of life, children depend on their parents and family to protect them and to provide for their needs. Parents and family form a child's first relationship. So this is why it is so important, because it is our foundation from a child being born. Question number 2 is, why is loyalty important in a family? Let me say that again. Why is loyalty important in a family? The definition, or the breakdown of it here, says, overall, family loyalty indicates a sense of fundamental and mutual commitment between family members, and is relevant to all types of their relationships, both vertical and horizontal, and associated roles: parents, children, siblings, and partners. All right. And then the third question that we're going to tackle on tonight is, how do you show loyalty to your family? And it gives 5 different points right here. Number 1, it says to make family a safe space, which we all need that. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. Family, we want it to be a safe space. Number 2, don't compare your children. Don't compare your kids to anyone else's children, or these television children. Don't compare your children to anyone else's children. Your children are your children. Your children are they're little replicas of you, and you as the parents, or whoever they're growing up around. That's who they are, but don't compare them. Number 3 says to prioritize family. Now, I'm a Christian counselor, and coming from a ethnic gospel kind of Pentecostal type of background, I grew up seeing a lot of leaders in the church sector. Again, I'm talking about the ethnic setting, but a lot of leaders, pastors, ministers, deacons, secretaries, whoever, a lot of leaders in the church. I've seen them put that over their family. And here, number 3 says prioritize your family. And then there are a lot of people on a secular level that will put their jobs over their family, or they'll put maybe their boyfriends or girlfriends over their family, or they will put their friends over their family, colleagues over their family, or they just put themselves over their family. I've seen that too, where there are a lot of people, adults, parents, who are more self-centered or more self-absorbed, and they will put more emphasis on themselves rather than their children. So number 3 says to prioritize your family. Number 4 says to teach children to serve one another. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more this evening. But In other words, teach them not to be selfish, to share, to work with each other, to care about each other. Teach them that. But they have to first see that with us as parents, as adults. They have to see us do the same thing. Model that. Number 5 says, emphasize your family's values. That is so important. And we're going to break this down on tonight. It is so important to emphasize your family values. Oh, good evening, Condi. How are you? So good to see you. So good to see you. So that's the 5 about how do you show loyalty to your family. And we're going to move this now. Family loyalty. Now let's break this down just a little bit. Family loyalty. All right. So it says that loyalty refers to the feelings of mutually shared obligations, responsibilities, commitment, and closeness that exists among family members. Example, your parents and children, between siblings, grandparents and grandchildren, and other close family members, cousins, your first cousins, your second cousins. Yes. Thank you, Condi. That way. So that's what family loyalty is. It refers to the feelings of mutually shared obligations, responsibilities, commitment, and closeness. All right. So the loyal sentinels. Let's get with this here. The loyal sentinels. And this is the sentinel personality types. Oh, let me go back. Let me define what sentinel is. Sentinel is really it's a soldier or a guard, someone whose job is to stand and keep watch. I guess around a fortified city, to stand and keep watch and make sure, like out in London, you have the guards there that are still standing there, soldiers that are guarding Queen Elizabeth's castle. So that's what sentinel means. So it means someone that's standing and keeping watch. So the sentinel personality types are the most traditionally loyal among all of the personality types. They are fiercely loyal to their families, communities, and employers. And on top of that, they are faithful to the traditions and the values that those who went before them, who passed these things along. And we know them for their hard work, which relates to their sense of duty, which is synonymous with loyalty. The feeling, especially towards turbulent sentinels, their loyalty is like a combination of a sense of duty with a heavy dose of emotionally mixed in. So that's the turbulent sentinels. They'll see their loyalty as being faithful to others and supporting them. Now, the thinking sentinels' loyalty is more likely to come from a sense of duty and a need to see things through to a successful end. And these personality types, especially assertive ones, are less likely to involve emotions into their loyalty and when they consider their loyalties. So they are the loyal to the tried and true. These loyal sentinels. And I think I'm going to go back and put a website in here if you want to find out what type of personality type you are. I'm a mixture between a sentinel and something else. So I'm going to later on go back and put this website in there because it's fun to find out what type of personality what you are, the personality that you have or that you exuberate. And it really helps clarify some things. Hey, LaShawn, how are you? It really helps to clarify some things with yourself and help you understand yourself, who you are, and why you think and do the things you do a little bit better. All right, so and let me make sure I didn't move too quick. Okay, I did not. Here we go. So now this is getting really, really, really deep here. This is called loyalty versus blind loyalty. Oh, I can actually go back. I'm going to put this in later on. Okay, I have the actual website because, again, I want you all, if you get a chance, to go back and find out what type of personality type you are. I just spoke right now on sentinels because sentinels really are strong family. They're family-oriented type of people. So loyalty versus blind loyalty in their families. And it says here that loyalty is essential for genuine family solidarity, but blind loyalty leads to a family dysfunction. All right, so loyalty. A loyal family member is faithful to the family's traditions and honors their obligations or its obligations. A loyal family member is emotionally present with support and encouragement during success or duress. These unwavering devotions are admirable, and observable. Just look at how a loyal family member helps another member during an illness, a financial crisis, the breakup of a marriage, or even a death. I admire family loyalty. I really do. And I do believe in it. However, I do not believe in blind family loyalty. And this is why. Here's why. Okay. A blindly loyal person follows lockstep and unquestionably behind the family. Often, the marching is done unconsciously because one doesn't want to upset or anger another family member. A practice of keep the peace mentality. Sometimes the blindly loyal member will go along with something even when common sense and rationale pleads with them to speak out. And sometimes the blindly loyal member rejects hardcore examples of a family's neurotic, enabling, and codependent responses. And that behavior hurts and damages their other relationships. How so? Let me give you an example. A really, 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 really old movie called Flowers in the Attic. And the young lady grew up in an extremely dysfunctional home. She wound up marrying someone who could take care of her, who loved her. She had two beautiful children with the man. The man wound up dying, and because she was such pampered, she was pampered, and she was coddled. So she did not really know how to live independently or function on her own. Like nowadays, if that happens, whoever the surviving spouse is, they're gonna go and get a job, or they have a business. They know how to take care of themselves and manage. But unfortunately, this young lady in this movie, The Flowers in the Attic, was so coddled and so pampered. She went from her parents' home, who were rich, they were extremely rich, to I think her husband was a doctor or attorney or something like that. And he took care of everything, all of the business, managed everything, took care of her. She just had the babies, took care of them. And then when he passed, she lost everything because she didn't know how to maintain when he passed. She wound up going back home to her mommy and daddy, which they had considered her an outcast. And they wrote her off because they felt like she turned her back on them, which in their view she did. But in the view of most people who function a little differently, knows that was really, she did what you're supposed to do. Marry and move on. You still love your family, but you move on. You learn, you move on, you grow, you learn, you function on your own. She had to come back with her children. She had to abide by her father and mother's rules. She had to lock her children up in an attic because they didn't want to see any parts of that man that she left them for. They were, they were treated very badly. Her children were treated horribly. And the mother would first started out telling the children how much she loved them. Oh, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to fix this. And then she eventually wound up blindly going back to that blind loyalty with her parents and going along with them. If they can starve those children to death and they can die and bury them, then it's like nothing never happened. And that's a very, very strong example of, hey, Kelly, how are you? That's a strong example of blind family loyalty. All right. So families operate on a continuum of being open with their communication or closed. Just depends on the family. Families with high functioning open systems can address any topic, even when the topic is extremely painful, difficult, or sensitive. Loss, divorce, mental illness, secrets, alcoholism, various abuses, feelings of shame, affairs, death of a beloved member, etc. These high functioning families feel confident and secure enough individually and as a family unit to discuss these circumstances and call them what they are. Individual expressions are not only permitted, they are encouraged. And while I agree, it can be complicated and tricky at times where family confidences are concerned. It is not impossible to negotiate peaceful outcomes. And now we're actually talking about a functioning family right now where you can talk, you can discuss good, bad, and different things, and move it along and still love each other. But this is the case in the closed, and this is now I'm going to talk about the opposite. It says this is not the case in the closed, blindly loyal family. For example, in a blindly loyal family where the father was cold and dismissive, this is an example I'm going to give, to his children, and now one member of the family wants to let the cat out of the bag. This member is often rejected by the other family members because blind family loyalty expects everyone to remember how terrific their celebrations were, even when mom fell into the potato salad and knocked over Uncle Albert, knocking over Uncle Albert were regular occurrences. So, in other words, the blindly loyal family must turn mom, the sinner, into mom, the saint. And heaven protect the family member who challenges the accepted family view. So this is an example of a family loyalty. So where does this blind family loyalty originate? This is the question. Where does it originate from? And it says, the finding says that usually it is formed in early childhood, where the child wants to win over parental approval and their approval and their love, because the worst thing for a child to feel is disapproved of. And the worst thing for an adult to feel is disapproval from their loved ones as well. But it does stem from childhood. So unloved and unwanted. Nobody wants to feel unloved and unwanted. So we all want to believe that we have the perfect family. Most people do. The blind loyalty type of person, they ignore the imperfections and transform family into issues. They mentally transform family issues into family virtues. When the reality comes later, when they see other people's families, or they marry someone who is a more higher functioning family emotionally than they are, then that's when they have a point of reference for comparison. They start to see the difference between somebody else's higher functioning family and theirs that's really, really dysfunctional. Okay. But telling ourselves that something was perfectly wonderful when it was not is emotionally unhealthy and mentally as well, and a form of denial or repression. So these feelings with coworkers, spouses, friendships, and with even with their own children. For example, the adult child who could never please their mother, their dad, or both unconsciously feels never good enough and becomes highly reactive when criticism comes his or her way. And this here is talking about the blind loyalty family, which is really that type of family. It can get better, but it'll take mostly everyone in that family to turn over a new leaf and say that we're going to start functioning higher. We're going to start sitting down, having family powwows, even if we have to go before a mediator, so we can get over these different things, these differences. We can come together and we can love each other and learn how to deal with life situations, and not cover them up, but be there for each other and say we're here to help, because we all are overcomers of something. That's a more higher functioning family. And even with my children, I'm going to talk on a personal level. I have grown folk now. I mean, they're very grown. And so one thing that I have always shared with them as they were growing up is take everything good. Take everything good from you growing up in our home. Take everything good. And then when you move out and you have your own family, your own relationship, you take that and you use that as a foundation and then build from there. Don't take anything negative that you've seen or experienced or even heard from growing up in the home, and don't take that into your new environment. We all know right from wrong. We know good from bad. We can learn from whatever negative experiences that we've had. We can learn from whatever negative anything. But one thing we must learn is not to repeat that, not to repeat those things. Don't bring them over into a new type, your newness. And I've always tried to encourage my grown folk and tell them that take everything good from what you've seen, what you've experienced growing up, and build from there. And learn from what anything negative you've seen with your parents. And I love them enough to really, I encourage them to do this, because to me, every family generation should get better and better and better instead of worse like that. Okay, so we are coming to the close of this. This is our summary right here. And it says, I'm sorry, let me go back before we do this summary because I still have a little bit more. It says, but with acceptance of what really occurred in your family system, coupled with insight and introspection, and sometimes help from another sibling, relative, friend, spiritual director, or professional, most of us can understand more fully the childhood that we experience and not turn around and misdirect that disappointment, anger, or hurt onto other people. It's so important not to do that. Yes, my friends. Yes, this says here, yes, my friends, we can become loyal to our own experiences, and that's a really good thing. And I'm going to go on. We're going to revisit this statement right here on week 4. This is something that we will definitely revisit. All right, so this is our summary for this evening, and our time is up. Our summation is, remember that there is no shame in admitting that we have wounds from some family experiences, and that we have wounded others, sometimes blindly, but let's not make a blind loyalty into a family affair. Instead, let's accept that no family is perfect, and most do the best that we can. And when we are open to this conscious shift from being a blindly loyal family member to an authentically loyal family member, our families will be true places of refuge, places where we can always return to heal a hurt, to laugh, and to cry. And yes, sometimes even exhale a bona fide sigh of those memorable words, home sweet home. So this is a good thing. Again, this summarized everything that we talked about with our keynotes and the questions that we were going to answer. Let's move to our takeaway on tonight. So our takeaway says that here are some characteristics of a healthy family loyalty. Okay, of a healthy family loyalty. Number 1, there are clear boundaries within your family. Number 2, relationships within the family are seen as important. It is important to have a functional relationship with your family members. Number 3, there is open communication among all the family members. And conflict is allowed. Conflict is allowed. And number 4, family members have an attitude of service towards one another and towards others as well. And so our 30 minutes is up, guys. And so I hope that you all have taken and have enjoyed and learned something on tonight. This is my give back to whoever sees or hears this. This is my give back to you all. I do this quarterly. I do 30 minutes every Tuesday and Thursday night of this month. And I talk about a specific topic, and my hope and dreams and desires is that it helps someone else. So here's a quote that I want to leave you all with that if you don't know the value of loyalty, then you'll never understand the damage of betrayal. All right. Thank you all for participating in Counsel of the Day with Shanrae, May 22, 2021 tonight. And I am Shanrae. Let me put this back here. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller as I'm talking right now. Let's make this a little smaller. I think I can. It don't want to cooperate. Oh, here we go. All right. Okay, so moving this along. Uh-oh. And I have two different mice, but they want to do what they want to do. Here we go. All right. I'm going to use my voiceover, guys. I'm going to use my voiceover. If there's a past Counsel of the Day with Shanrae series that you missed or you just want to rewatch, you can go to my YouTube channel at Shanrae Price. Please subscribe, like, hit the bell, and select any past series to watch. All right, and here we go. If you are interested in professional one-on-one counseling services, feel free to contact me via Facebook Messenger or at shanrae.price@gmail.com. I am a lifestyle strategist, and my aim is to aid you in reaching your life's goals and dreams. And here's our last one, and I will see you all on Thursday night. See you then. Here we go. If you feel that this teaching has helped you in a positive way or blessed your life, please feel free to donate a coffee blessing to my Cash App, $Shanrae Cherie Price. All right, good night, everybody. I will see you 9 p.m. on Thursday evening. Good night, guys. Any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section and I will answer them at a later time. Good night, everyone. Good night.